Welcome everybody to this 30-minute practice. This is Rebecca Jane. And if you haven't already, you can join my live online yoga classes. My website's above, or you can go to the link below. So today this is a fabulous class, I have to say. We're going to be focusing on ankle mobility. It doesn't sound very sexy. It's like, oh yeah, this is a great fun. It actually, after I practiced this earlier, or taught earlier, I really noticed how good this felt to hone in on the feet. Obviously, we're doing other things. We're not just taking our feet and putting them on the ground, and that's all we do. But it's such a nice feeling to have our feet moving and to increase the mobility in our ankle joints and our toes, which affects. So when our feet, as we probably all know, if our feet aren't healthy, it affects everything. Our whole, not just on a physical level, but our whole being, our way, our moods, how we approach the day. So healthy feet are important. Yoga will always barefoot. We're continuously working on our ankle mobility, our feet, but not consciously. We're just doing our practice. So today I want us to have a strap. If you don't have a strap, grab a blanket, towel, a scarf, belt. And we're going to start on our knees. Now, some of us have knee issues, so we have to be extra careful. So you can always place a blanket or a block between the legs so that you don't have so much pressure on your tops of your feet. So there's different ways of being able to sit like this. So if you put a block, you come up a little higher. But let's place our hands on our thighs. Let's close the eyes. Let's just start here. And let's start to deepen the breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. Freeing up our feet. Now notice right now how your feet feel. Because I've just taught a class earlier, my feet feel amazing. But when I first taught the class, they didn't feel as amazing. They were tired and sluggish. So then gently open the eyes and you can come off of that blanket. Curl the toes under. Sit on your heels. This is not the most comfortable position for most of us. If you can't sit on your heels and it's too painful, just bring your hands on the ground in front of you or your blocks. You can place your hands on the blocks. Make sure try and get all 10 toes. My baby toes don't like to touch down. They're very, very rebellious. So don't expect this to feel good. If it does, well, good on you, but most of us don't feel that way. Place your hands back down, come to the tops of those feet, sit on your heels. Pause here for a moment and bring your hands back behind you. You could even bring your blocks behind you and lift your knees off the ground enough so you feel sensation on the tops of the feet. So you're stretching, we just stretched the bottoms of the feet, now we're stretching the tops of the feet. Breathing in and breathing out, yes. And then lower the knees to the ground. Let's just come into a child's pose for a moment. Let the knees widen, big toes touching. And take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out.
Let's come up to all fours, transition onto the right hip, swing your legs forward, and we're going to lower ourselves onto our backs. Strap is next to you, stretch through arms, stretch through legs. Flex those feet, point the feet, flex the feet, point the feet. Open the feet out to the sides, bring them in. So just kind of do your thing with those feet. And then hug your knees into your chest. Lower your head down, and then place your left foot flat on the ground. And then take hold of, not yet. Hug your knee into your chest. I'm already ahead of myself. Straighten that right leg. Take your hands behind your right thigh and circle that right foot around. Let's do 3 times in one direction. You don't need to do this quickly. I want you to become reacquainted with your feet, just like you were when you were a baby. How babies put their feet in their mouths. You might be able to do that still. Who knows? And now I want you to bend your right leg and take your strap and place it on the ball mound of your right foot. Ball mound, not the arch, but the ball mound. Take each strap in each hand. Now left knee stays bent, or you can open it to the left, come onto the outer edge of your left foot. So you get a hip opener and plus a nice ankle stretch for your left leg. Just forget that left leg for now. Bend your right knee, take an inhale, and then exhale, straighten that right leg. Draw your toes down, heels up. So if this is too much for you, that left leg, just flatten it. This is not absolutely essential. Soften the shoulders down, chin. You have an imaginary tennis ball between your chin and chest. Pull, and then push into that strap with that ball mound as if you're trying to point your toes, right toes. And then pull the toes down, heels are higher than your toes. Then push up and then pull down. And then bring your left knee so it's pointing up again and place that right ankle on your right thigh. Just bring your strap to the left side. Slide your hands behind your thigh, right hand between the legs, or on the shin, left shins. And we're going, both feet are flexed, so we get a nice stretch here. Take a deep breath in, pushing right thigh, right ankle into right thigh, left thigh into right ankle. Confusing you even more. So this is a lengthen and strengthen move where you use your own body for resistance. And then from here, straighten your left leg. Keep your right ankle on your left thigh. Hand could be behind your thigh, or take your hands on your toes, or do a strap. Strap up that ball mound again. So we're not moving very fast today because we're concentrating on our ankles, but you'll see how good this feels. Toes down, heels up. Now press your right knee forward, and then so that you get this hip opener with a hamstring stretch. Soften the shoulders down, and then release that strap. Take your right leg off of your left. Knock your knees together, open the knees wide. So now we get into the inner edges of those feet. Let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. So already you might start to feel tingling in that, not healthy tingling. Heel toe those feet so they're hip distance. Now we're going to hug your left knee into your chest. Straighten your left leg, hands behind your left thigh, and circle that ankle around. 3 times in one direction, 3 times in the other. Now half the amount of bones are in your hands and feet. So that means a quarter of your bones are in your feet. Huge. Isn't that kind of mind-blowing? It's hard to even conceptualize. Hug your left knee into your chest. Take that strap, place it on the ball mound of that left foot. Bend your left knee and then straighten your left leg. Now, if you want that to allow that right knee to drop out to the right, come onto the outer edge of that right foot, you can add that or keep it as it was. Now, take your, bend your left knee again and then re-straighten. I think we just did that. You get to do it twice. And then draw the toes down and heels are up. And I want you to feel this stretch, breathing in, and then push into that strap. And then draw the toes down again, as if you're trying to point your left foot. And then you're pulling down. So you're resisting. Lengthen and strengthen move here. Strengthening those muscles, the tissues in those feet. One more time, and then take the strap over to the right. Bring your right knee back up and place your left ankle on that right thigh, pigeon. Supine pigeon or figure 4. Take your hands behind your right thigh or the shin. Lower that head to the ground. Take a deep breath in. That left knee pushes forward as you draw your right knee in. So it's all energetically done. You're not necessarily doing much other than using your brain to create that sensation. And then bring your right leg up to straighten that right leg. Bring your right leg in. You could either do it without a strap or with a strap. Take it all on the ball mound. Take a deep breath in and pull your toes down as you press your knee forward. Make sure that left ankle is not on your kneecap, right kneecap. Soften the shoulders down, chin slightly tucked, breathing in and breathing out. And then gently let go of that strap. Hug your knees into your chest. Open the knees wide. Do some rocks from side to side. So hug those knees. If you can get the crook of your elbows and interlace those hands in front of your shins, do so. Just to get a nice stretch here. You could flex and point your feet or just keep them still. Maybe sway them from side to side. And then let's gently roll up, coming all the way up to sitting and then onto our hands and knees. As soon as we get to our hands and knees, take a deep breath in, curl toes under, lift up, downward facing dog. So already, downward facing dog, can you feel how the legs or the ankles are beginning to work here? Pressing the heels towards the ground, spreading those fingers, bend those knees. Oh, I know what I didn't do, and I will come back to it. I'll do it a little later. Lift your heels up, lower the heels down. Lift the heels up as if you have stiletto heels on and then lower the heels down. One more time, lift the heels up and lower down. Take an inhale into plank. So you can tell already through our vinyasas, our planks, we're curling toes under, pressing heels back. Lower down, knees can come down if you'd like, lower all the way down. Lifting up into your cobra, where you press the tops of the feet into the ground, or upward facing dog when you're lifting the knees and you're pushing into the tops of those feet. Lower the knees down, press through child's. Keep the toes curled under. And then lift back up, downward facing dog. Shake your head no, shake your head yes. Take a little walk to the front of the mat. Once you're at the front of the mat, let yourself just hang here for a moment, pressing into all four corners of your feet. Take an inhale halfway. So let's do a few little sun salutations, half sun salutations, forward fold. Inhale, lift up. And as you lift, I want you to bring your mind's eye to your feet. Make sure they're rooted down. Lift up to the ceiling, hands to heart. That's inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale halfway. Fingertips on shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. So feet are grounding down, hands to heart. Now we're going to inhale, reach arms up. You're going to sit down into a chair. Lift your toes up. So just your toes, and then lower the toes down, forward bend. Step back, downward facing dog. Emphasize the stretching of the feet. Inhaling into plank. It's like you've forgotten the rest of your body. It's all feet today. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra. Or if you can do an upward facing dog, that means your knees can comfortably lift off the ground, the tops of the feet pressing down. If you cannot, then the knees are bent, your elbows are bent. You're in cobra. Press back into child's pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a little walk to the center of your mat. Sit down in Malasana now. Malasana is a squat. You might decide, if you cannot touch your heels to the ground, take a blanket or a towel, roll it up, and sit down into your squat. So you might have to roll it up multiple times. Lift up through your heart. You can always place your fingers on the ground if you're feeling unsteady, as if you're not able to stretch out those heels. It took me a long time to be able to lower my heels to the ground, but I want my feet a little bit closer. Take an inhale. I remember they used to feel I couldn't wait to get out of these squats. But now I can stay in them a lot longer. Straighten those leg forward bends. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Take an inhale and exhale. Walk your feet closer together. Inhale, right leg reaches to the sky. Open up that right hip. Let that right heel drop towards your bottom. The emphasis right now is on the left foot. You can, if you feel comfortable enough, lift the heels off the ground, off that left foot, and lower the heel down. Lift up and lower. And then straighten your right leg, square those hips to the ground. Bring your right knee to the center of your body. So you're pausing here. And then you're going to shoot that right leg to the left, through that, in front of your left leg. Keep your left toes forward, hands forward for a moment. Some of us, this is just enough. Some of us are going to come onto the inner edge of your left foot. You're on the outer edge of your right foot. Your left arm reaches. Side plank, fallen star. Intense. Lower the left hand down. Bring your right leg back in. Downward facing dog. Shake your head no. Shake your head yes. Breathing in. And we'll do the other side. So if you need a little moment, you come onto your knees. You do a little wrist rolls. And then back into downward facing dog. Bring your feet closer together. This time the left leg lifts to the sky. Open your left hip. Let it drop. Now the emphasis is on the right leg. Pressing the heel to the ground, the knee is bent here. As if you can jump up to the sky. You can take a leap. Roll onto those toes, lift the heels up, and then lower the heel down, and lift. Ankle mobility. Re-square those hips to the ground, straighten your left leg, bring your left knee to the center of your body, and pause. And then from here, keep everything as is, just shoot your left leg through the front of your body, in front of your right leg, on the outer edge of your left foot. Stay in downward facing dog. Stay here for a moment. And then bring your left hand a little bit closer in, roll onto the inside of that right foot. Left foot is you're on the outside of that left foot. I can't breathe anymore. Right arm reaches. And then lower right hand down. Bring your left leg in. Downward facing dog. Come onto your knees. Take a moment here. Take a pause. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then coming up onto all fours, curling toes under, downward facing dog. So every time we go into a downward facing dog transition, you're increasing your mobility of your ankles. You're working on those. Bring your feet to the center of the mat again. And we're going to lift up. So you're just in the middle of the mat. I'm going to turn. So the feet are hip distance, and we're going to just roll onto the outer edges of those feet. You're going to come back to center, roll on the inner edges. So you might say, oh, I need to open my legs a little bit wider. Come back to center. That means your feet are flat. Then roll onto the outer edges. You could even do your arms. Take your arms and do the same thing. And then come back to center, roll on the inner edges. Now go back and forth without stopping between the two. Rolling in, rolling out, rolling in. My knees are bent here. Make sure you can bring your hands on your hips and then come back and settle down. Coming onto your bottoms. Bending your knees, take a deep breath in, reach arms forward. We're going to ease ourselves onto our backs. And you will stretch through the legs, stretch through the arms. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Slide the feet in. Now we're going to measure out for our bridge. So take your hands, the middle tip of your fingers, and tap and just touch your heel with those fingers. Take the hands out to the sides, just a few centimeters, not too far. Now what we're going to do is take an inhale, arch the back. As you exhale, press the lower back into the ground and lift up into bridge. So our starting point is we're going to just lift the toes up, just the toes. The rest of the feet lift. As you lift, take an inhale and exhale, lower back down. Keep the toes lifted. You're going to lower down, touch your tailbone down, then take an inhale. And then exhale, press your lower back into the ground. Keep toes lifted, lifting up. And then take an inhale at the top, exhale, lower back down. Once you've lowered down, let the toes just relax. Yeah. Now what we're going to do here is you're going to roll onto your toes completely. Heels are off the ground. Do the same thing. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, lift up into your bridge. Squeeze the legs as if you have a block between those legs. So engage those muscles. Take an inhale and exhale, lower back down. Keep the heels lifted. As if you have stiletto heels on, arch the back. Take an inhale, lift back up. Exhale. You might get some cramping here. That would not be unusual. And then lower back down. And then lower the heels down. Take a pause here, breathing in and breathing out. And then walk your feet a little further forward now. And we're going to come up, we're going to roll onto our heels, toes, ball mounds, everything's lifted, just the heels are on the ground, okay? Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let's lift up into a bridge, dig those heels into the ground, squeeze the legs, engage those muscles, take an inhale, and then exhale, lower back down. So we're working glute muscles. Other muscles that we don't typically use when and then lift back up when we're doing a bridge with our feet in these different positions. Lifting up and then lowering back down. Lower the feet back down. Knock your knees together. Open the feet out to the sides. Roll onto the inner edges of those feet. Broken bridge. Breathing in. And breathing out. Oh, does that feel good? And then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Little rocks from side to side. Come into happy baby. Hands inside the feet or outside the feet. Make sure knees are outside your shoulders, not inside. Open the knees wide. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, press feet down with the hands as you press the feet into the hands. This is our lengthen and strengthen. You're creating resistance. And then from here, I want you to release the hands, cross your right ankle in front of your left, as if you're sitting in your cross-legged seat. Take hold of the outer edges of the feet or the tops of the feet. Or if you can't get close, then the ankles, maybe the shins, if that's as far as you can go. And then pull your heels into your bottom as you push your knees forward. So this should feel amazing. Awesome, whatever word comes to mind, spectacular, delicious, sweet, lovely. Bring your knees back in. That's crossed the left over the right. Same thing on this side. Take a deep breath in and gently pull your heels towards you, knees forward. Soften the shoulders down. It's so nice to stretch out these feet. I know that some of us might have something going on in our feet where we have pain, so you have to be extra careful. Just uncross your legs, and then from here, just a little fun thing, and it might not work for you. You take your blocks, place them underneath your calves. Now, usually I have it underneath your thighs, so your feet are hanging off. Now, if you're saying this isn't comfortable, take them off. Just let them go. We might as well try different things, right? And your knees are rolling outward, just like you would in a regular Shavasana. Arms are out to the sides a little bit, palms are up, and let your body take an inhale and exhale. Just melt like chocolate, my favorite chocolate, into the mat. Bring your tennis ball, place it back between your chin and chest. Imaginary tennis ball. Let yourself melt. Now you stay where you are for another minute, 2 minutes, up to 5 minutes. As I come up to seal our practice on ankle mobility. So when our ankles are feeling this, like they've just had a massage,
your whole day feels better. It truly does. Suppose I'll let you know at the end of my day. Wow. I'm just amazed, I have to say, because I didn't expect that sensation. And this is the second time around, so it's not like it just was perchance that I felt so good. And if you're saying, well, what does she have? What does she have that I don't have? Who knows? Just a weirdness, that's what it is. And as I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal this practice, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, and you haven't already, you could join my live online classes. The link is below, or you can see above. That's where my website is. Thank you so much. Namaste.